me through. I don't know why I stay with you. She said I'm a wasted youth, and I wasted all with you. It ain't late since '92. You're here waiting for the bloom, but if I'm a wasted youth, then I wasted all with you.
Yeah, first sold out show. Obviously, I feel really good. It means a lot to me because we've been working really hard to get to this point. So to do it in New York City, you know, kind of like my second home, feels really good. I feel like I've kind of always been surrounded by music. It's really one of those stories. I mean, I was split between two households growing up. Not only two households, but two cultures, right? So I'm half black, half white. And, you know, on my mom's side, you know, birthday parties and events are vastly different culturally than on my dad's side. So I was really from the beginning exposed to two different worlds as far as, you know, listening to Blink and Green Day and Census Fail and a Starting Line and Block Party, and then to the other end, listening to like, you know, Aretha Franklin and James Brown and Michael Jackson and just all the classics and even into Biggie and Jay-Z. So I really feel like I am a walking culture clash in that my influences come from both sides, and you can hear that when you listen to my music. If I could put one person on it specifically in the beginning, it would probably be Lil Wayne. It's because that was like a really pivotal point in my adolescence where I was like starting to experiment and do different things and try different things. And Wayne just had something about him during that era where maybe it was like the singing and rapping combination. That melody just made it so interesting. And I remember I went home with my two friends, and we bought a mic and we plugged it into the computer on some like shitty recording software, and we like made our first song. It was the worst song ever, but it was great to us. I would probably want to collaborate the most as far as legacy acts. Blink-182, one of my all-time favorite bands growing up. Full band, Travis, Tom, Mark, if you're watching, I'm free. It's pretty random actually. There's actually two stories. So one is I was pretty into Greek mythology for a while, and it's a Greek name, Titus. It was actually ancient Roman Empire named Titus. I just thought it was a really strong name, and I wanted like a single word. And then also, a lot of people don't know, but my name used to be Timmy Titus, and I basically just got those two books, which are right after each other, right from the Bible, right after each other, Timothy and then Titus. And that basically has to do with my, you know, it's kind of an ode to my mom's upbringing of me and my brother. So it's taken on a life of its own now. Titus kind of stands for rebellion and freedom of expression and nostalgia to me. So yeah, skate culture. I mean, growing up, I kind of had like my little crew. We would just kind of like roll around, hit different skate parks in the area. Sometimes we'd take the train, come to New York and skate around and just make DVDs, kind of like the ones that we would buy. Hyphy 2 was like a big DVD for me. That was like kind of the first time I learned about like the Bay Area and like all the music they had over there was during that DVD. And yeah, that's kind of why I still, you know, skate to this day, aside from it just being fun and like a way for me to release more energy outside of music, which is mainly therapy for me, is skating. So I'm thankful to still be able to do that, and you know, now turning it into lyric videos so that people can see that and, you know, maybe influence other kids to start rollerblading too. I used to also play a lot of games as well, like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, Aggressive Inline, all of which had like crazy good soundtracks at the time. I mean, we're talking like massive bands, Jimmy Eat World, Green Day. Still to this day, like one of the biggest culturally relevant games for, you know, pop punk music in general. in the early 2000s. So I give a lot of credit to the creators of that game for, you know, choosing that soundtrack, because a lot of those songs are cult classics now, or just general classics. For me, it served as like yet another discovery tool for music that I would like. Songs you maybe wouldn't necessarily just throw on or know to go throw on, or maybe haven't heard of. You're playing the game like 4 or 5 hours, you're gonna hear that song a bunch, you know? So definitely a big influence on me. Yeah, so Lost Valley was kind of like a big passion project to me when it started, and I began to fall more and more in love with it as I was making it. I was also going through like pretty severe depression towards the middle of it, especially like around the time I wrote Miss Misery. Now to fast forward and have me in New York City to be able to do this first show sold out for people, it's kind of like unreal. So I'm excited for people to get like the live experience that they maybe felt when they heard it. So Sick About You, which is one of my favorite songs right now, came pretty easily actually. I was just having a late session as usual, like maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. Wrote the whole song in like 2 hours, I would say, which is produced by Corey and Yizo. And I knew I wanted to make something super nostalgic, kind of with that Blink influence. And you know, right out of 2004 pop punk. And then, you know, at the end, just kind of the icing on the cake was the voicemail, which is a real voicemail from my now girlfriend in 2014. So it just happened to fit. So it just worked out. Some advice that I've gotten that's been pretty important in my life is just to believe in yourself. I mean, that confidence that you have in your development, in your growth, will translate on records and in your ideas when you go to write songs. Because for me, I think some songs get to a pretty vulnerable place. And if you have the confidence to accept that and to be able to share that and the readiness to share that, you can make some pretty incredible music. So I would say just be confident, be willing to learn and grow, because this entire process, my entire journey has been a big learning experience. What's next for me? What's not next? We're working on a new project. Pretty psyched about. I'm gonna dive in a little deeper than Lost Valley. We've already released the first single, Sick About You. I've got the next one coming up, which is a collaboration song between someone that I would consider to be a bucket list feature for me. So really excited about that. And plus the band is together, we're playing shows. We're pretty righteous. So, you know, anything's possible next year. I'd like to definitely tour the US and probably a little bit of Europe as well. All right, this has been fun. You guys have been watching Titus TV. I'm excited to perform the show tonight. If you're not here, hopefully I'll be in your city soon. And you can find me on Spotify, Apple Music, pretty much everywhere. And watch the fuck out, because it's gonna be a crazy ride.